So with Nvidia losing another 4% today, how much money could you make shorting it, but also how much money could you make actually going long? I wanted to use our risk to reward ratio calculator to break this all down for you. And again, these are all just hypotheticals. As of right now, Nvidia is still showing signs of support above $100 per share, which doesn't mean that it has to continue to sell off. But also, it's not indicating any signs of a recovery, even though in its past it has been incredibly bullish. With that being said, I wanted to take both scenarios into consideration because remember, there's always not just one side of a potential outcome, there's always two. So with that being said, if you really like this video, all I ask you to do is drop a thumbs up, subscribe, and feel free to share down in the comment section what you would like to see next. So today, I made some mistakes. I did walk away with $4,700 in the green, but my first trade, I actually ended at a little bit over 6,700 in the green, and then gave a little bit of it back because I ended up trading against the overall market direction. What I mean by that is I thought that the market was going to begin to show signs of recovery. It didn't. It got rejected. I entered a short, but then it quickly changed on me and then went long and then went short again. Nonetheless, I should have understood that the overall direction of the day was simply bearish, and I should have taken profits at support, re-entered at overbought levels, taken profit at support, re-entered at overbought levels, and taken profit at support if I wanted to trade Nvidia today. Direction was truly bearish, and ultimately the initial sell-off from highs of 108 to lows of 100 was the biggest move that we saw today. But if you look at the way that it was trading for the past 2 days, again, there was a very common support range right around 104, 105, and a very common resistance range right around 110 per share. With that being said, we tested that same resistance today, but we simply broke that support and made new lows today of $100.95. With that being said, how much money could you make if this thing sells off back to lows of $90 per share? How much money could we make if this thing begins to indicate signs of recovery and goes back to $130 per share? I plugged it into our risk to reward ratio calculator. Friendly reminder, if you ever want to download this, it's going to be the first link in the description down below, and we'll send it to you over email. It is free. With that being said, NVDA. So this is to go short. So if I have an entry of 102.83, which is the current market price, and I exit at $90.50, and if I cut losses at $104.50, because that would be a break of pattern if this thing begins to recover, and based off of old support, which is right around 104.50, if it begins to trade above that, I would simply cut losses there. This would offer a 7.38 risk to reward ratio, and with 2,500 shares, as a lot of you guys know, I trade with about $250,000 to $500,000. I could potentially make $30,000 of potential profit, and I could potentially lose $4,100. Now, that is if I go short, and this is best case scenario. The reason I really like making these videos, or the reason I really like breaking it down with this risk calculator, is because it makes it so much easier to understand both sides. So that is best case scenario for my short based off of previous support and current market price. If I go long based off of current market price, so if you are someone that is bullish on Nvidia, if you think that this sell-off is just a fluke or just a better price to get in at a lower level, and you think that Nvidia is going to go back to $131 per share, then again, that is to go long, right? 102.48 for a potential entry, 130 for the potential exit, and then cut losses at new lows if it ends up breaking below 102. Again, if you think that this cut losses is following too close, then you can make that adjustment, but this would offer a risk to reward ratio of 57.33, an insane ROI, right? With 2,500 shares, the same dollar amount, I could potentially make $68,000, and I could potentially lose $1,200. Now, the biggest thing that would change the two, right? Because if you look at this, you're like, well, it's not rocket science. I'm just going to go long, right? Because I could potentially make more versus how much I could potentially lose. It's all about market sentiment. Market sentiment has been incredibly bearish. Market's been forming lower highs and lower lows. The big focus for the Federal Reserve right now is the job market. How's our unemployment rate? Based off of recent non-farm payrolls, we came in a little bit lower than what was expected. Also, within a few weeks, we have the Federal Reserve that is going to be cutting interest rates for the first time in 2024. These are all factors that might positively or negatively influence the market. As of right now, just like I said, right, I've been getting this question time and time again. What is going to happen with Nvidia? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I take the market just like you do, day by day, week by week, and I let the market digest the different economic reports that are being released. But as of right now, it is not very complicated to see that market is bearish. This is on the 1 hour time frame. We are trading below the moving average. We are trading below the EMA. We are showing signs of lower highs and lower lows. We are simply pulling back to previous lows. And this is why I think it's always super important to talk about both long and short, because those are both potential trade opportunities that we can choose to take if the opportunity actually ends up presenting itself. So I'm really excited for next week that if we do break below that $100 support, I'm going to be ready to short with my Learn Plan Profit team as it approaches $90 per share. But if Nvidia actually begins to show signs of a recovery and begins to show signs of progress on the upside, then guess what? I wouldn't mind going long either, because I know there's a lot of money to be made on the recovery. And this is the beautiful part about trading, is that when you remove your emotions or your opinions that could cloud your thinking and you just let the charts do the talking, it's trade less, profit more, right? You really just focus on what's important, and that's what the market is telling you. You learn to dance with the market instead of dancing against it and stepping on its toes. That's the analogy that I love to use for our beginner traders that are part of LPP. Again, I do trade live every morning, Monday through Friday, right at market open for about 30 minutes to an hour. If you're tired of overcomplicating your trading and you want to tune into my live sessions, I'd love to see you there Monday, and it's the second link in the description down below. And yes, it's a one-time payment, lifetime access, but I do want to let you guys know that as soon as LPP 3.0 comes out, it's going to go from $500 all the way up to $700 per share. And yes, if you sign up for LPP 2.0 right now, you will get automatic access to LPP 3.0 at no additional charge. So I appreciate your time. I hope that I earned your thumbs up. Please consider subscribing and let me know down in the comment section, what would you do? Would you prefer to go short? Would you prefer to go long? Or are you going to wait for confirmation for a break of support or a confirmation of a reversal before taking your next trade? Let me know down below. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.